Plaintiff Julie Easterling is suing her former friend, Sean Fitzgerald, for totaling her car. Sean claims to have died 3 times after the accident, and he is countersuing Julie for medical bills and emotional distress.
Julie Easterling is suing her former friend, Sean Fitzgerald, for the value of rental car fees and the value of a car and emotional distress. And Sean is countersuing his former friend for medical bills, emotional distress, and lost wages. Julie, let's start with you since you're bringing this action.
About 4 years ago, I met Sean through mutual friends. You know, he was a good guy. We became really good friends and everything. We started working together out at Whataburger, and I had to go out of town for the weekend. And I let Sean use my car. I told him, look, this insurance does not cover you. It's liability only. It covers the other driver. I said, don't speed. Don't have other people in my car, and don't smoke in my car.
Had he ever driven your car before?
Not my Integra, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so you just let him borrow the car?
Yeah, because he's had a car before, and I've rode with him, and he was a good,
so you
safe
know
driver.
How he drives?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so he asked you to borrow it. You tell him, by the way, I don't have anything covering you. If you get into an accident, only the other guy.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what she tells you?
No, ma'am, that is incorrect. She did tell me that the insurance would cover me.
She did?
Well. Yes, ma'am, she did.
So you're saying she said if you get in an accident, the insurance is going to cover you. Why would she say that?
She said it would cover me if I were in a wreck, and it would cover the other person in the wreck, as well as her vehicle.
Does that make sense to you? Go ahead.
Everything was fine. He was going to work for the weekend. I come home back from my trip. I take the rental car to the place to go turn it back in. They said I have it for another day. So I was like, okay, cool. So I go ahead and go to work. We get off at the same time. I told him, hey, look, I'm going to follow you home. We're going to go home and hang out, just like we do all the time. Mm-hmm. So I passed him on the highway because he was driving real slow like a grandpa, because he said he drives like a grandpa. So I went around him.
Hey, I'd be happy for a grandpa
driving
if he's driving my car.
Yeah, it's fine with me. So I go around him, and I look in my rearview mirror. Of course, he's there. And so I keep going, don't think anything of it. And everything's cool, everything's fine. I call Sean's phone. I'm like, Sean, where are you at? And it's not Sean, it's a police officer. And he tells me Sean's been in a wreck. And I'm like, is he okay? He's like, yeah, he's hurt. He's on his way to the hospital. Your car's been totaled. Come down and check it out. We go down and we see the car. Car is totaled. I mean, it is completely totaled. I have pictures right here of showing the car.
All right, let's see.
I have a before picture and after pictures. I also have the police report saying it was his fault in the accident.
What is this?
That's the before picture.
And may I ask when that picture was taken? Is there a date on the back of that picture to see when it was taken? I apologize.
Is this like a Ford? What is this?
Oh, the car's in the background. That's our tractor. Our lawnmower.
All right. So, oh my goodness. Wow. How did you get out with the jaws of life? How'd you get out of this?
I'm not quite sure how I got out. I do know, thankfully, the Kyle Fire Department was able to get me out. But I do know this, that I did, Your Honor, I did die 3 times within a 12-hour period. I did flatline and did go where my heart stopped, my lungs stopped, and so did my brain, and they had to bring me back.
Wow. 3 times?
3 times. On the scene, on arrival, and later that time in the hospital. Like, seriously, I was on the scene. I remember.
Do you want to rebut that? How do you know if he died?
He's alive in that picture. You see his eyes open.
He's got a neck brace on.
And that's
after the accident.
Yeah.
Or is that, they're taking you out like that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're awake?
No, ma'am.
His eyes are open.
Just because my eyes are open does not mean my heart was beating or my brain is functioning. I mean, look at the car.
You're awake.
Plaintiff Julie Easterling is suing her former friend, Sean Fitzgerald, for totaling her car.
I thought that was something that was staged. You just told me you died. That's not a dead man. Are you saying that you were dead when they were putting that collar on you? You're holding on and you're looking out the window?
I do not remember that, Your Honor.
Huh?
I do not remember that. I do remember what they told me in the hospital, though.
All right. You died. What was it like?
It was pretty cool, actually. Because I didn't know. I did not know. As far as I was concerned, I was in Maui surfing as far as I was concerned.
So you're in Maui surfing. Is that when you're dead at the scene?
Yes, ma'am.
How about when you're dead in the hospital? Where were you then?
I went back to the same spot every time, Your Honor.
Have you ever been to Maui?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were dead or when you were alive? All right, let's go back to you. So your car is totaled.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why are we here today?
I had to get a rental car. I had to get back and forth to try to find a job. I lost my job for not having a car to get back and forth to work.
All right, so he borrows your car.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell him when he's borrowing your car, just be careful you don't get in an accident because, I don't have any insurance covering you if you get into a problem, but I only have insurance for the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
You get a phone call, you call, and a cop picks up the phone, your car's been totaled.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you go to the scene?
I went directly to her
Was
store.
he-
I'm sorry.
Was he at the scene of the accident or was he out of the car at that point?
When I finally got a chance to get out to that way, he was already gone to the hospital. Everything had been cleaned up. The car was already taken back to the tow yard.
Okay. And did you go to the hospital to see him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What condition was he in the hospital?
He was laying in the hospital bed. He could barely talk. He was hooked up to all these machines. He did say he was sorry right away. I felt bad for him, seeing him like that. He's a good friend of mine. I didn't want to see that happen to him. But while we were there, he did mention of, did you get something out of the ashtray? And I was like, dude, there is no ashtray. The ashtray's gone.
I don't know what she's talking about, Your Honor.
I have a witness saying that he said it.
What do you think he was talking about?
A roach.
But according
Shame on
to
you.
the police report, there was no screens done whatsoever.
Let me
Like-
see the police report, Sean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. Okay. County of Hayes, City, Town of Kyle. Where is this? Texas.
It's in between San Marcos, Texas and Austin, Texas.
What happened, Sean?
What happened with the wreck? Well, see, I was just driving home, like Julie said. All of a sudden, she did go ahead of me because I do drive slow. I do drive in the right-hand lane. Why I drive fast? Whatever I'm going to get to is if I'm meant to get there, I'm meant to get there. But the place, if it burns down as well, so I have no point in speeding and driving fast and recklessly in any which way. And so
Was there a roach in that car at the time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, who hits who?
Well, all of a sudden, I just remember all of a sudden driving, and then the next thing I know, the car is spinning. And then I got T-boned, and then the car was in the median on the right-hand side of the highway, and then that's all I remember.
Okay, so you just started spinning. Did someone hit you from behind, or did she cut in front
I
of you?
think someone hit me from behind, but there is no car to prove that because,
Well, do you have damage from behind?
no, ma'am. Well, I don't
you get
know because I never saw the car.
But there's no damage in the back of the car?
Well, then no one hit me from behind then.
Okay, both Unit 1 and Unit 2 are traveling on I-835 South. Unit 1 was traveling at an unknown distance ahead of Unit 2. Unit 1 was traveling in the right lane. Unit 2 was traveling in the center lane. Unit 1 swerved for a reason unknown and possibly overcorrected, causing loss of control of the unit. It appears Unit 1 crossed over to the center lane in front of Unit 2 when it lost control. A witness stated that Unit 1's front tire blew, causing loss of control. When Unit 1 crossed over to the center lane, Unit 2 struck the unit on the left side. Okay, all right. So what we have here is, are you car number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you get T-boned by car number 2.
Yes, ma'am.
And before that, you're over here?
I can't see that from here, Your Honor, but I was in the right-hand lane.
You know what? Do me a favor. Put down with the number 1 and number 2 where you started and where you ended, if you can tell from that.
Defendant Sean Fitzgerald admits to crashing the plaintiff's car, but says she owes him for medical bills and emotional distress, and also claims he died 3 times after the accident.
Okay, so what are you suing him for? The rental car.
The rental car, the value of my car. I have an actual Kelly Blue Book value.
What's the Blue Book value?
It was in fair condition, rated at $1,880.
1880.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what else?
The rental car, I have a receipt for the rental car that I had to get to try and look for another job because I lost my job because of this. And then I also have a police report. And I also have a picture of the car after the wreck in color, showing that 2 of the tires did not blow out. The other 2 on the other side didn't blow out either. I have a witness for that too. Kelly Blue Book and the rental insurance. Rental car.
Were you drinking?
No, ma'am.
Were you smoking weed at the time?
No, ma'am. We had just got off work.
It's the book value. There's no question about that, even for a car in fair condition. And this is the car. Wow. You took a real beating there. All right, let me see your medical records.
I only brought what I was allowed to. There's a thing on top that states how much the total bill was for, but the in-depth is only for how much I was allowed to have in court.
Okay.
All right. Okay. These are your bills. I want the...
That's all I was able to obtain.
Let me explain something to you,
Yes,
Sean,
ma'am.
just for the future. And everybody else. Your medical records are yours. Nobody owns them but you. You don't let any doctor or any hospital tell you they own your records. Those are yours. These are bills, and I'm sure you had enormous bills. That's not the issue right now for me. I wanted to read about the condition you were in, where they say that you were dead on arrival. You say you died 3 times. I wanted to see that in the medical reports. But don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't get a copy of your medical records.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you countersuing
Yes,
the
ma'am, I
plaintiff
am.
for what?
For $4,000 for medical bills, $700 in emotional distress, and $300 in lost wages.
Okay. Why should she pay for your medical bills? You were driving the car.
Because she told me that if I was to get in a wreck, that it would not to worry about it, because if that chance at worst were to happen, that the medical, like her insurance would take care of everything.
No way.
Do you really expect me to believe that when you borrow a car, the person says, not to worry, if you get in an accident, I'm going to pay for
Well,
your health care?
she stressed don't get in a wreck, but she says if at worst
Who
did
thinks
happen.
like that other than someone who's got a crystal ball? Somebody borrows a car, you don't say to them, hey, look, not to worry, you smashed my car up, that's all right, I'll pay for the hospital bills. What? Okay, what do you want to say?
I have my friend here,
Amanda.
Amanda, witnessing.
Step up. What do you want to say, Amanda?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nothing got said after the insurance until after the wreck. We had thought, because we had hit a deer in her new car, and she called her insurance, and their bills got paid, but we thought it was his. And that's whenever she had said that his bills were covered.
Amanda, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Let's focus. Amanda, and I'm sure it's me. Amanda, the issue is, were you present when Julie had a conversation with Sean when he borrowed the car?
Yes, I was.
Okay, what did Julie say to Sean?
She said that she had insurance on the car, it was liability, and that he asked if she had insurance because if he was to get pulled over, not if he got in a wreck or anything. I was standing there because he came with her to pick me up from work, and we were leaving out of town. And she said, be careful, don't have nobody in my car, don't smoke in my car, don't speed in my car. Please be careful.
Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe you. See, it was very clear. Thank you. Sit down.
Plaintiff Julie Easterling is suing her former friend, Sean Fitzgerald, for totaling her car.
All right. So you think she should pay for your medical bills when you don't even know how the accident happened, but you're basing this on a contract. You're saying that there's an implied agreement between you and the plaintiff that in the event there were to be an accident, that her suggestion or representation to you that she would cover you is enough to cover your medical bills. Wrong. Okay? She can't. She can't. She's not responsible. Sue the person who hit you. Sue the manufacturer if something happened with the car. Don't sue her on a contract basis that there was an implied agreement. I don't believe it. Doesn't mean you're not a good person. I just don't believe you on that count. Now, you think because you lost wages that you should get $300 for not being able to work. Is that all? You died 3 times, you only lost $300 in wages?
Well, I was out for 3 months, but that's all the court would allow me to do for the total of $5,000. So that's how I broke it down for that.
What were
Because
you
I was
doing?
out of
Sean-
work for 3 months.
Sean, what did you do?
What did I do? Well, we had just started working at Whataburger,
Right.
and it was for a week,
Okay. How much did you make a week?
about $200, $300, $400.
Mm-hmm.
It would vary, depends on how many hours they would give us. I only worked there for a week.
Who's paying for your medical bills?
I haven't been yet to pay on them yet, but it most likely be me paying on them, but I'm trying to change that today.
Sean, I give you credit. You went through a lot of pain. You're here today. I don't doubt for 1 minute that you were seriously injured. You're lucky to be alive and standing and walking.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you had serious injuries, it's personal injury case, get yourself a lawyer and check that one out. But she is not the one who's responsible for it. The plaintiff, unfortunately, has a cause of action against you. She loaned you the car. She's entitled to the value of that car. She's not entitled to rental fees and emotional distress and all that other hogwash. It's pure and simple property damage. You took her property, you damaged it. You paid an enormous price, so much more than the value of this car. 3 times over, as you would say it, I'm sure. I believe that the verdict should be for the plaintiff in the value, the Blue Book value of the $1,880 for the car. And with respect to your claim, Sean, the only thing I can tell you is I think that you should get a good lawyer. You're not entitled to any money here. Good luck to you, okay? Verdict for the plaintiff.